everyone. Welcome to the Sideline Brief Podcast. Here we're on episode 187. Wild week in the NFL. Week 3 action. We will recap a lot of the games happening this weekend with either blowouts, a couple walk off field goals, a couple block field goals. Plus, we got Monday Night Football that we will quickly preview as well this episode. I am hoping that this comes out before Monday Night Football, so we will get that out to you guys and preview that game. Plus, we have Wrestlepalooza, ESPN's first premium PLE. It happened this Saturday night, 7 p.m. kickoff. We will talk about all the matches that happened. Your boy watched most of the matches. I did miss a few, but I will recap most of what I watched. And then talk about what the internet's talking about. There's a lot of people on the internet that did not like this PLE. I think maybe even ESPN themselves did not like this PLE. So we will dive into that and more. So with all that being said, guys, stay tuned. Starting the NFL week 3 action. Week 3, like I said, was wild. A lot of unpredictability. I know it's still early in the NFL season and anything can happen, but I mean, it's week 3. Let's try not to overreact how we did in week 1 and how we did in week 2. This is NFL is a week by week season. A lot of these teams are not in full stride. Some seemingly are, but a lot are not. So we got to take everything that we have seen and everything that I say with a grain of salt when we kind of dissect and review these games. Starting with Thursday Night Football, this had trap game all written over it. I actually wanted to take Dolphins spread so bad, but I knew something might happen in terms of the Bills might blow them out. The Dolphins put up a fight. They definitely put up a fight. I think Tua he just makes bad decisions. A lot of time when the game's on the line, I think the offense just does not look good. You can credit that to the Bills' defense, but also I think teams have them figured out. I think McDaniels is just running the same thing from when he first got there. I think teams are just figuring it out. Little short crossing routes, the drags, the digs, all these little quick screen passes, the run off the tackle, like. Very predictable. So I think, and especially when you're playing a division rival, you just, those games are always tough anyway. But Dolphins still found a way to keep it close enough that the spread actually did hit. I think the spread was actually like 12.5, I think. So I should have taken that. But I just, for whatever reason, I felt trap game. And I never bet on trap games. If I get that feeling, I try to stay away. So. Hopefully you guys did too. But the Dolphins, 0-3. It's safe to say their season's over in terms of playoff hopes. I think you definitely if you lose next week, you definitely got to evaluate where you want to go from there. Next up, we have my Bengals. They got mollywop, straight belt to ass. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to keep it non-biased here. Belt to ass. The Vikings did a number. Their defense is just as hyped up as it needs to be. The Bengals, to me, were not prepared for this game. That goes on Zach Taylor. I give Zach Taylor about 90% of the blame. I think 10% goes to Jake Browning for trying to be Joe Burrow when no one asked you to be Joe Burrow. We just need you to take care of the ball and make good timely throws. You've shown that you have done that, but also you've shown that, hey, I think I'm Joe Burrow too. Bro, you are not Joe. Even your initials might be JB, but you're not JB9, bro. You're JB6. 9 is better than 6. So I think he needs to realize that, hey, I just need to take care of the ball. I got T and Jamar. I got Yoshi Voss. I got Chase Brown. I got Noah Fant. I got Gesicki. I got all these weapons. All I got to do is just distribute the ball. You see Mac Jones in San Fran? The dude's playing on one leg, and he's distributing to third-string receivers. He only has Ricky Pearsall. He doesn't have – I don't think Jennings has played. I don't think he might have. I'm not too sure, but I don't think Jennings has played. Ayuk's still out. Kittle's out. I mean, come on, man. You basically got C-Mac a bust. And, Kyle Shanahan is calling a damn good game for Mac Jones. I don't see why Zach Taylor can't do the same. In terms of Zach Taylor, though, he has to be more creative. I hate how, the Bengals start slow no matter what. It just happens that this year they won the games that they probably would have lost in past years. Thus, they're 2-1, not 0-3. Zach Taylor is always, when his back is against the wall, is when he becomes seemingly more creative and seemingly knows how to start calling plays correctly. Always in the beginning of the season, one thing I noticed is that he just calls a very passive, very predictable game in the early in the season. Every single year for the past 5-6 years, it's always been the same. He doesn't get creative. He doesn't open the real playbook up until about week 4 or 5. So I think he needs to cut that shit out, honestly. And the Bengals have a real chance to, they had a real chance to win this game. I think they actually could have if they didn't turn the ball over. But secondly, I think going into next week against the Broncos, who we'll talk about it a little bit later, but Bo Nix is in a real sophomore slump, just how I've been kind of telling you guys he's going to suffer. And they don't look as formidable as they did last year. So they have a real chance going into Monday night to actually, I would say, they're 7-point underdogs. They have the chance to really steal that game and kind of get some momentum back. But in terms of this one, yeah, 5 turnovers is going to kill you. A pick 6 and a fumble, scoop 6, definitely going to kill you. You can't spot the Vikings' points, especially when their offense was honestly quite bad. I mean, the numbers look good over here, but I mean, for 2.5 quarters, the Vikings' offense couldn't get anything done. The opening drive, the 2 bullshit penalties, got them in, basically field goal range very early, and Wentz, only thing he had to do was dink and dunk. And hey, he can still dink and dunk. If you're an NFL quarterback, you can still dink and dunk. So, other than that, they weren't really that good on offense. I know Jordan Mason has, 116 yards, but let's call a spade a spade. The team quit in the second half. There's nothing to play for. He got a bunch of garbage yards. So I'm not milking that up to anything. I think the team is still good on defense. They're playing better. I mean, absolutely better than they did last year. I think they really got to hone in on some things and get better for next week. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but they definitely got to get better for next week. They do have a winnable game Monday night versus the Broncos. Packers Browns. This was on the Sunday Ticket multi-view. Still didn't pay too much attention, so I don't want to say too much, but this should go to show that all the people that were poo-pooing on the Bengals, barely beating the Browns, and now the Packers lose to the Browns. I should tell you all you need to know. The Browns, I said after week 1, I said, hey, the Browns got a pretty good damn defense. I said the Browns probably get the best D-line, and they got probably the best corner duo, if not a top 5 corner duo in the NFL. Some people laughed at me, told me I was just, trying to, downplay them and uplift the Bengals. But hey, I think this is proof enough that Packers, who were dominant the first 2 games, didn't dominate the Browns. So, hey, sometimes I'll tell you guys the truth. You need to listen. Colts. This game was not on Sunday Ticket for some reason, so I didn't watch this one. So I'm not going to spend too much time, but they look good. They do look good. Danny Dimes is, not turning over the ball, and Jonathan Taylor is back to his beast mode. He is back to beast mode. Steelers, Patriots, they lost this game, bro. They 100% could have won. I was watching this one. As soon as the Bengals were down by 20-something, I was like, all right, I'm going to keep my eyes on this one. I did have the Patriots winning this one. I definitely thought they could, pull this one out. Like Lawrence has been saying since the beginning, the Patriots are going to be in a lot of dog fights, and this was a dog fight. Drake May, you can't turn the ball over. You got to, capitalize on a lot of these drives we had. Steelers defense played, I would say they played better. They played just well enough to win. I think Aaron Rodgers did not look too good. But this was a very winnable game for the Patriots. So this one kind of stings if you're a Patriots fan. Rams, Eagles. Now this one hurts because the Rams 100% should have won this game. The block field goal at the end. I mean, what can you say? That was That was a gut shot. That was an absolute gut shot. They did all that work marching down the field after that Eagles touchdown, get within field goal range like it was nothing seemingly, and then to lose on a blocked field goal. Um, yeah, that says a lot right there. I think both teams, if you look at it, are pretty evenly matched. I think the Rams just got the better of the Eagles in the first half, and then the Eagles came flying back in this one. Fly Eagles fly, and their defense really stepped up in the second half. I think the Rams only scored 6 points in the second half, or they only scored 7. So um, Eagles definitely turned up the intensity. 3-0. They look really impressive. They look like the best team in football. I've been saying that. Some people said the Packers. I said the Eagles were the best team in football. And this win just proves that they are. They were resilient. Got the ball to A.J. Brown finally. Even Devontae got some more catches. Um, they honestly they just do whatever it takes to win. Whoever needs to score, they will give them the ball and they will help their team win. So shout out to the Eagles fans. 3-0, I can't hate. Um, Jets Bucks. Now this was another blocked field goal. Jets blocked that field goal. They go and score, and then the Bucks, led by Baker, who is still wheeling and dealing, even though Mike Williams did. You knew it was going to happen. Mike Williams and hamstrings go together. Mike Williams and hamstrings go together. Let me tell you. So this was bound to happen. I didn't think it would happen in week 3 of all times, but it did. So who knows how long Mike Williams is going to be out? But Baker says Ibuka, Sterling Shepard looked like he's kind of having a resurgence in Tampa Bay. We'll see if Chris Godwin comes back anytime soon. But I think even with just Ibuka and Sterling Shepard, Baker will be able to deal going forward. But the Bucks look good. They look good. The Jets, they look decent with Tyrod. I'm not gonna say they look good, but they look decent. Very similar style to Fields, but Tyrod can't run as much as he used to. But honestly, he's still a very capable backup, borderline fringe starter. So, yeah, I mean, he played well for starting for the first time in years. Raiders Commanders, a local game was blacked out for me, so I couldn't see that. Falcons Panthers. Now I did kind of poo poo on the Panthers last week, and I kind of poo pooed on them for not being able to win this one, and they proved me wrong. So shout out to them. Bryce Young. I'm not gonna say he returned to form, but in terms of just game managing and not turning the ball over, he managed to do that. So that's always a good sign. I think the Falcons just forgot how to play football. I think Penix, I don't know what the hell he was doing, throwing 2 picks. One was a pick 6. Didn't really keep giving the ball to Bijan. I mean, you see 5.5 yards per carry. They should have kept going to him. If you look at the recipe for teams that beat the Panthers, they ran the ball up and down the field against them. So I don't know why Penix has thrown the ball 36 times and you threw the ball 43 times altogether. Doesn't really make sense from a game plan perspective. So this one's definitely on the Falcons. I think they should have been in a better position to win this one. Not saying they would have won against the Panthers, because the Panthers, they came out and they came ready to play against a division opponent. But the Falcons, they should look better. They should have looked better than this. This is all on them. Not being able to score 1 point on the Falcons or on the Panthers is pretty unacceptable. So if you're a Falcons fan, you're probably kicking yourself right now, because you definitely, as a fan, you deserved a better performance out of these guys. I don't know what the hell happened here. Texans, Jags. This was also in the multi-view, but honestly, I couldn't pay attention to it because we got Eagles going on, and honestly, the Jets Bucks games were taking up a lot of my just capacity, honestly. But I will say that Texans, hey, maybe trading away your best offensive lineman was not the best idea, right? I know he's getting old. Larry Tunsil's getting old. He's getting up there in age, but hey, the Commanders had no concern about trading for him. Now, I know you need to probably move on and get younger because you got a young QB, so you need a younger, more athletic offensive line, but I don't think that was the right move. You basically turning C.J. Stroud into Justin Fields when he was in Chicago. Um, a young quarterback needs good protection. You basically the regression you were seeing from C.J. Stroud started last year when the protection started folding in the cracks. And now this year, they full on can't block at all. I mean, you talk about bad offensive lines, people want to throw out the Bengals, but the Texans' offensive line is equally, if not worse. So this is pretty concerning. It's not something you can fix overnight. Maybe they get better, but the trend is not looking like they're going to get better. So if you're Texans, you're 0-3. If anyone can dig out of 0-3 hole, it's the Texans and C.J. Stroud and that defense. But offensively, they're looking terrible. Through 3 games, they look terrible. So for a team that had a lot of hype around them going into this season, back-to-back years of playoffs and then one playoff win. This year, I don't know if you get there with 0-3. It's very hard, very hard. I think very few teams have done it. Very few teams have done it. So I don't know where C.J. Stroud and the Texans go from here, but they got to find a way to get some better protection and give this man some time to throw, because if he's just constantly running out the pocket, escaping sacks, it's going to keep looking like this. You're going to keep having games like this. Honestly, I didn't watch too many of these games. The Cowboys were blocked out. Cardinals 49ers was a good as a stretch. It's mostly a defensive battle. Both teams really couldn't score until the end, where Mac Jones led that game-winning drive, walk-off field goal. Jake Moody, got cut. They bring this other guy in. He makes the game-winning field goal. And then Chiefs-Giants. Chiefs got away with this one. The Giants legit had a chance to win this one. Russ, I think he needs to be sat down. This guy he's just throwing the ball down into Malik Neighbors or whoever. He's just not thinking. Like, throwing that pick in the end zone just because Malik Neighbors is one-on-one coverage. Come on, bro. He's just not smart, bro. You were in field goal range and you just chucked up a long ball. Russ is just not Russ, man. I hate to say it. He's just not good. Not the quarterback he used to be. He's just not making good decisions. His athleticism is really failing him. He can still escape, but it's not like every down thing. And I think he's just trying to do just enough to stay in the starter role, and it's kind of biting him in the ass. I think him trying to do more than he's supposed to be doing is really biting him in the ass, because he wants to keep starting, but why are we going to keep starting you when you're the reason why we're losing games? It's a very valid question. And Dayball, in his press conference today, was, again, not committed to him starting in week 4. So we'll see if they roll Jackson Dart out. If Jackson Dart was in this game, do I think they would have won? No, but he gives you potentially a better chance than Russ. I just don't think Russ is the quarterback for the situation. So yeah, that's the end of week 3. We got one more game tonight: Lions, Ravens. I do think the Lions win this one. I'm just gonna go out and say that the Lions will win this game. I think they're playing in Baltimore. Usually, Baltimore kills NFC teams when they come to Baltimore, but I think what we saw out of the Lions last week, I think the Lions were in Chicago, right, and put up 52. I know they were at home. Either way, I think, the Ravens defense is very suspect. I know the Lions defense is kind of suspect too, but the Ravens defense, I think, is really suspect. They got some injuries on defense. They definitely can put up points against the Lions. I don't think they can stop the Lions from putting up points. If the Lions look like they did last week and stick to that type of game plan and stick to that type of offense, they will have success against the Ravens. So give me the Lions. Give me the over on the points too. Hopefully this comes out before so you guys can take advantage of it. I'll try to make a TikTok or a short and maybe get that out beforehand. But I think this is a very winnable game for the Lions. I think they're going to shock people here. And then Wrestlepalooza, last but not least, was Saturday. Honestly, it's a mixed bag. The Brock Lesnar Cena match to kick it off. There wasn't a whole lot to that, honestly. You could definitely tell, hey, Brock Lesnar's first match back. He, very short match. You could tell he was gassed like halfway through. looks like Cena is in pretty good shape, but he can't really shut it off because Lesnar is definitely not in shape. He took 3 AAs, kicked out of it at 2, and then Lesnar does like what 5 or 6 F5s, and then kills Cena, and then that's the match. Like very unimaginative, very no surprises, nothing like really shocking. It was like, okay, if Lesnar wins, it's going to be because of this, and it was because of that. So yeah, I think overall pretty disappointing. I didn't catch the Io Sky and Stephanie Bachweir match, so I'm not going to talk about that. The Usos, I caught the last bit of it. Apparently Jay is hurt. He's in a concussion protocol. The blood that you saw was his own. It was actually real. I think the chair, when he hit Braun on the back and it bounced back up at him in the face, I think he busted his own face open. So Jay might be out for a little bit. You might not see him this week on SmackDown or whatever the case is. The mixed tag team I did not see, so I can't speak on that. But I've heard it's actually pretty decent. You see ESPN gave him a C. I caught the tail end of this one, the Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Very meh match. Just overall, just very average. Like Triple H has been cooking recently, but sometimes these PLEs they could do without. And I understand the reasoning why you want to do Wrestlepalooza for ESPN. It's your first PLE, the first month you can do, your first month in the contract with them, you want to put something on to kind of celebrate that and kind of make light of that and show what you can do in terms of putting on a good card. But this was a terrible card. A lot of this was put together last minute. Storylines didn't really seem like it was worth the PLE. This honestly felt like a Saturday night main event type of, vibe. And a lot of these matches felt like they could have happened on a regular SmackDown or Raw. So with that being said, I don't have to agree with ESPN. This is a C minus territory. We honestly could have done without this one. I feel like they could have saved the first ESPN PLE for, I guess, Crown Jewel would have been the first one. I feel like that would have been a good place to debut on ESPN, not this. I think some of this was actually kind of crap. So it is what it is. And with that, guys, we're going to head on out. This is the Sideline Brief Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening on Spotify, all that good stuff. And we will see you hopefully on Wednesday.
Giving me